Arsenal have found their man. After weeks of negotiating and plenty of speculation, Mikel Arteta will have a new forward, and that man is Brighton's Leandro Trossard. So today we'll find out all the details behind the deal, as well as a breakdown on the player. We'll also find out who is next on the Gunners' radar, and what Pep Guardiola had to say about the title race. Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Babs14 and welcome back to Boys channel. Things are happening at the Emirates Stadium. We've got some massive news. So as per, smash a like on the content if you enjoy and subscribe to the channel if you are new, and help your boy on his road to 150,000 subscribers. But let's get straight into the breaking Arsenal news. Arsenal have been active, Arsenal are making moves, and after missing out on their main target Mikel, a lot of people were questioning who was next on Arsenal's list. Many names came up: Moussa Diaby, Rafinha. But in this market full of so many opportunities, Arsenal have found their man in the Premier League, Brighton's Leandro Trossard, and the Gunners have acted fast. It all started off in the morning when a Fabrizio Romano exclusive revealed Arsenal had opened talks to sign Leandro Trossard. Negotiations were advanced, the personal terms were agreed, and talks were continuing. The player then liked a photo on Instagram to confirm that a deal was close. But as we saw with the saga of Mikel, liking photos is one thing, the main thing is the agreement. And just like that, we got it. As Fabrizio Romano said, Leandro Trossard to Arsenal, here we go. A full agreement has been reached between parties for £27 million. The personal terms agreed, and Trossard will sign his Arsenal contract soon. Arsenal were not messing about. And here's the further breakdown. Fabrizio says it's a 4-year deal, and personal terms were never an issue, as he turned down 2 clubs to sign for Arsenal, and Arsenal will pay £21 million plus 6 in add-ons, with the deal completed in 24 hours after the first contact on Wednesday. Let's not forget that Arsenal were offered the player they have accepted, and according to Sammy Mockbell, Trossard will earn £90,000 a week at Arsenal. Now, some people might see this as overpaying, especially for a player who's meant to be out of contract in 6 months, but this is where people were mistaken. Brighton had an automatic option to extend Trossard's contract by 1 year, meaning he actually had 18 months left on his contract. But after asking for a move away, he clashed with their manager De Zerbi, and that's where he became an opportunity, and Arsenal have acted, and there's actually been a small change. As Fabrizio Romano understands, Trossard is actually signing a 3-year contract until 2026, with the medical test set to take place on Friday, and then the official statements. The contracts are set to be signed, the medical is set to be taken, and according to Charles Watt, Arsenal are hoping that Trossard could even be available for their game this weekend against Manchester United. Here we go, confirmed, done deal. Mikel Arteta will have his wide forward. But why is it Leandro Trossard, a player that's 28 years of age, and wasn't their number 1 priority? This, my friends, was a market opportunity and a very sensible transfer, and there are plenty of reasons behind why he makes so much sense for Arsenal. This guy is Premier League experienced, with over 100 league appearances. Arsenal need a player that can impact straight away, and so by signing a player that understands the Premier League, Trossard will not need time to adapt. He's also coming from Brighton, where Roberto De Zerbi and Graham Potter have also instilled a positional play system, and that means that Trossard will understand the Arsenal system. But you also have the Arsenal assistant manager Albert Stuyvenberg, who has previously worked alongside Trossard back in 2017 during his time as manager of Genk. But is Trossard the player that can help Arsenal push for the Premier League title? Well, let's look into his stats. This year, 7 league goals from an XG of only 4.4, 101 touches in the opposition box, 23 open play chances created, and he's won the ball back 20 times in the final third. This guy has many different facets. His main attribute is definitely his elite ball striking, overperforming his expected goals. It showcases a devastating finisher. And watching over his Brighton goals, most of them are in the bottom corner. His ball striking is very clean, and it's very important to note he's also ambidextrous, comfortable shooting on both feet, and the prime example is his masterclass at Anfield against Liverpool, scoring a hat-trick with all 3 goals coming on his left foot, that despite being right-footed. By being so comfortable on both feet opens up different shooting angles, but also makes him a very versatile player, able to play on the left-hand side and also the right. Trossard has also played quite a few games as a left wing-back, and that's very important because in the past Mikel Arteta has shown that when he is chasing the games, he moves to a 3-5-2 formation, with both Martinelli and Saka as the wing-backs. In that sort of system, Trossard's experience could be vital. But he's also a player that works very hard, and only 3 players in the entire league have regained possession more times in the final third than Trossard this season. Trossard is also very durable, He rarely gets injured, and his ability to play on the left-hand side while also as a false 9. I almost see him as a Swiss Army knife. He's a player that I think will excel when Arsenal play against deep blocks. When teams have parked the bus and Arsenal have a limited amount of space, Trossard excels in tight areas and his dribbling is very good. He might not be as explosive as Martinelli, but especially off the bench when teams are tired, that ball striking can be devastating. He's a player that rises in the big games. This season goals against Chelsea and Man City, and a hat-trick at Anfield, and he's also scored goals in the past against United, Spurs and even Arsenal. With the Premier League experience, the versatile option and the availability in the current market, I believe this is a very sensible signing. But what do you guys make of the transfer? Comment down below your thoughts on Arsenal signing Leandro Trossard. But Arsenal are not done. As Fabrizio Romano confirms, it's not over yet. Even after signing Trossard, they will explore other opportunities and keep an eye on the right back situation, as they appreciate Ivan Fresneda, and also for the midfielder, as there could be some opportunities. The right back seems to be the area next for Arsenal, and they've got their eyes set on Spanish right back Ivan Fresneda. As Fabrizio Romano says, Arsenal, Juve, Borussia Dortmund and Newcastle have all been monitoring Ivan Fresneda, but at the moment there is no official bid on Valladolid's table. You can also count in Manchester United. Fresneda is a man in demand, but according to reports in Spain, it seems the race for Fresneda has come down to Arsenal and Newcastle. 18 years of age, Mikel Arteta sees a future star, and they were about to lose Cedric Soares, as according to Simon Jones, Fulham are closing in on agreement to sign Cedric Soares. Even though Arsenal have Ben White and Tomiyasu, I do believe Mikel Arteta might see a future for Tomiyasu as a left-sided centre-back, and according to reports in Spain, as Fulham accelerate a deal for Cedric, Arsenal can now make an offer for Fresneda this week. The price tag will be around £20 million. It is going to be expensive, but Arsenal have genuine interest, and after the signing of Leandro Trossard, this is the transfer that Arsenal fans need to keep an eye on. Moving on to the other potential signings. The wide forward sorted, the right back in progress. Arsenal are also looking for a brand new midfielder. We might have Thomas Partey and he's fantastic, but behind him we only have Mohamed Elneny, and he could be out with an injury. As Kaya Kaynak confirms, Arsenal continue to assess Elneny after he picked up a knee injury in training that saw him miss the game against Tottenham. That would leave Arsenal only with Albert Sambi Lokonga. Is that enough to fight for a Premier League title? Are Arsenal going to sign a number 6? Well, let's talk about a young midfielder, and I mean very young. Paris Saint-Germain's Warren Zaïre-Emery. As according to reports in France, Arsenal are keenly interested in signing the PSG prospect. However, the French club consider him not for sale. To be exact, 16 years of age, and he's already made 7 PSG appearances. The next best thing coming out of France, said to have very good passing and very good vision. The fact that he's even playing with the PSG first team at such a young age, it showcases the level of talent. And Arsenal are a team that like to find the next superstars, but unless Arsenal are willing to make a very serious offer, I highly doubt that PSG will let him go. But what about Roma's Nicola Zaniolo? As according to reports in Italy, Zaniolo could leave Roma as early as January. Contracts are in progress with Arsenal, and his price could be between 30 to 40 million euros. 23 years of age and Italian international, Zaniolo is a decent player, and he still has a lot of potential. He's far more of an attack-minded midfielder, but his goals and assist numbers are not crazy. His impact is not massive, and he's a player that's contracted until 2025. Of course, Arsenal will have this scouting department looking into the profile of the player and how he would fit into the Arsenal team. I am not convinced if Zaniolo is the player that Mikel Arteta needs. Instead, Arsenal have a Premier League target and a blockbuster potential transfer for Declan Rice. And according to reports in the UK, Arsenal have made Declan Rice their top targets and are increasingly confident that a deal can be struck for the England international. Arsenal have a new top target, and this transfer makes so much sense. A player that's only 23 years of age, able to play as a number 8 and a number 6. That means that he could provide cover for the likes of Granit Xhaka alongside Thomas Partey, and he's only ever worked under David Moyes and Gareth Southgate. Just imagine him under Mikel Arteta. In his current Arsenal system, Declan Rice could thrive, but this would be very expensive, around 70 to 80 million pounds, and the chances of West Ham selling the player in January are next to nothing. This is far more likely to be a summer transfer, and I believe it would be a tremendous signing, but at the same time, with Elneny potentially injured and only Thomas Partey, as we fight for the Premier League title, comment down below, should Arsenal sign a number 6 now or wait to the summer for Declan Rice? But on the topic of transfers, we've had some very intriguing details come out on Arsenal's move for Mikel Mudryk. According to Simon Johnson, the Chelsea owners delivered an 8 to 10 hour presentation in talks to convince Mudryk to sign for Chelsea, and in that they argued that he would have far more competition at Arsenal against Gabriel Martinelli, and instead promised him a key role in Graham Potter's team. Now these guys aren't wrong. At Chelsea he might be a starter, but Arsenal have 2 top class wide forwards, and Gabriel Martinelli with 7 goals this year is a superstar in the making. Chelsea have seen that and they've used that to their advantage. and that was a key reason to how they convinced Mikel Mudryk to sign for them. If that's how Mudryk wants to operate, and he wants to run from the grind, then so be it, my friend, because now we have Leandro Trossard. Talking of Arsenal wide forwards, let's talk Bukayo Saka, who has now moved into second place in terms of goal contributions in the top 6 games before the age of 22. Above the likes of Harry Kane, Phil Foden, this is what makes Saka so special. He thrives in the big moments. We've seen it at the Euros and at the World Cup, and that only bodes well for Arsenal going into the future. As Arsenal return to the Champions League and try to become a truly elite team, we are going to have so many more massive games. And as you guys can see, that is a stage that is set for Bukayo Saka. Moving on to the other Arsenal news today, and getting straight into the Premier League title race. Arsenal have a massive game this Sunday, Erik ten Hag's Manchester United, and they were held to a 1-1 draw against Patrick Vieira's Crystal Palace, with a Michael Olise screamer in the 91st minute. The game itself was one thing, but the most important thing was the booking to Casemiro, his 5th yellow card of the season, which means that he'll be suspended for the game against Arsenal. It's a massive blow to United, and David De Gea was fuming, saying one of our best players cannot play one of the best teams. I don't understand why we had to play today and they didn't. That could make the difference on Sunday. He is a big loss for us. He's right, it is a gargantuan blow. Casemiro has been their standout midfielder, and without him they'll have to either play Fred or McTominay. But Ten Hag doesn't seem too bothered, as he says last time we beat Arsenal without Casemiro, and as a team we've already showed how to beat Arsenal. I think Erik ten Hag forgets that he beat an Arsenal team without Thomas Partey, and with Thomas Partey we are a different animal, and not being too convincing against Crystal Palace. I think Arsenal would have taken encouragement. In the second half, United caved in and Crystal Palace had them pinned back. And Crystal Palace are a good team, but Arsenal are elite. And with the players that we have fit and available and our form at the Emirates Stadium, United are good in transition, but it's a chance for Arsenal to make a massive statement. But in terms of both teams, here is ex-Arsenal and United player Mikel giving his combined 11, with De Gea in goal and a back four of Dalot, Varane, Saliba and Zinchenko, a midfield three of Eriksen, Casemiro and Odegaard, and a front three of Martinelli, Rashford and Bukayo Saka. This is a very dodgy team. Ramsdale for me over De Gea, Ben White obviously over Dalot. Varane has been very good, but Gabriel has also been very underrated. Casemiro versus Partey is a massive debate. Xhaka over Eriksen for sure, and I'm not too against the front three. Get down below in the comments and let me know your own Arsenal and Manchester United combined 11s. But in terms of the title race, there has been a massive game. City versus Spurs. Tottenham were flying at half-time 2-0 up, but then they brought out their heritage, bottling a 2-0 lead as City came back to win 4-2, and that means they have closed the gap to Arsenal to just 5 points, and they can make that 2 if they were to beat Wolves before Arsenal play on Sunday. The game itself was very emotional, so much happened, and Pep Guardiola was not too pleased, saying, "I want our fans to push us, demand more, say come on guys, show us more, we are a happy flower team, all nice and good, I don't want to be a happy flower, I want to be Arsenal. And if we play that way, Arsenal will destroy us." A little bit of friction between Pep and the City fans is brewing, and as he says, we have an opponent in Arsenal who have a fire, almost 2 decades without winning the Premier League. I am explaining the reality. Everything is so comfortable at City, but the opponents don't wait. Pep is not wrong. The Arsenal team has a different level of desire. They have a chance to make history, to revive the sleeping giant that is Arsenal Football Club. Our young players are very emotionally charged. They have a burning desire to win the Premier League, and that is giving them a boost on the pitch. Compare that to Man City, who don't look as convincing, definitely a lot more sloppy. These guys might have the experience, but in terms of Guardiola, he looks a bit concerned about their appetite, and he definitely sounds worried. But for Arsenal, their focus is all on this Sunday. Manchester United at the Emirates Stadium. City will apply the pressure. I expect them to beat Wolves, so let's see how Arsenal respond. But that is the video there and there, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow your boy on all of his social medias, then the links are down below in the description. But that was today's episode of the Transfers FC, and Arsenal are closing into their first signing. Leandro Trossard is on his way to the Emirates Stadium, but what do Arsenal have planned next? We're going to find out very soon, so stay tuned, take care, and